Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Grace Kitchen. As you can probably tell, today we're going to be working with tomatoes. We have a huge for me at least, tomato processing day. We got 30 pounds so far of tomatoes from our garden, and we purchased 30 pounds of tomatoes from a local farmer. So we have quite the day ahead. We're going to process all 60 pounds of tomatoes and going to be turning it into tomato sauce. So I'll go ahead and show you the process from start to finish, and it should be a fun day. So what we did is, as the tomatoes were growing, as soon as they would start to blush, we would pick them, bring them inside, let them ripen in the house. And as they were ripe, we would put them into these freezer bags and just pop them in the freezer until we had a large enough portion to process for the tomato sauce. And we did this method last year and I loved it so much. I just went downstairs and got our blender and our food mill and just gave everything a nice wash. This is only my second year canning and my second time canning tomato sauce. So my husband actually bought this food mill for me, which was such a nice gift because it means that you can just wash your tomatoes, freeze them whole, blend them, then put them through the food mill, which then takes out all of the seeds and skins, and you don't have to go through that process. So it's awesome. Now we're going to go ahead and put our tomatoes in the blender, turn them into a sauce, and then go ahead and strain them through the food mill. I think we're going to try one of the little bags first, just as a test. Then just go ahead and give it a blend. That worked a lot better than I thought. I don't know what I expected, but I'm really happy with that. Go ahead and pour the tomato. I'll go ahead and scrape the sides so you guys can see. So that little ball of pulp in there, that is all of the seeds and the skin that we didn't have to by hand take all the skins off, and we got all the seeds out. So that's amazing. We're going to go ahead and take out the seeds and the skins. Add them in. That one still had a little bit of water, but it's okay. It'll come off when we boil it. Today we're going to be making just a very basic tomato-only tomato sauce. My favorite way to cook and to can is canning ingredients, just because you can then go and turn it into anything that you want. It's not something specifically that has basil in it. It's not something specifically that has Italian seasoning or something like that. So it's very versatile and can work with any meal. That's my favorite way. So tomato. Let's go ahead and blend this one up. I don't know about you, but I find that very satisfying. Now that is quite a bit in the food mill. So we'll just go ahead and spin that around and get all the seeds and skins out. I believe that this is either a 23 or 30 quart pot. My parents got it for me for my birthday last year because they know that I love to can big batches like this. So it is perfect. It's gotten so much use. So now I'll move our blender back just a little bit so that we can start filling our big pot. This is full of tomato sauce that doesn't have any more seeds or skins in it. So we'll just go ahead and every time this bowl is full, we'll just go ahead and put it in the pot and get it ready to boil. It's just, isn't that beautiful? I don't know. I just love this so much. It's so satisfying to be able to grow your own food or buy it from a local farmer. In this case, we did both. And then process it yourself and then have it for the winter. I don't know. I just love it. I grew up doing it, so I think that's part of the reason why I love it so much. It's not fall if you don't can. I don't know. A lot of people would disagree, but for me, if you don't can, it's not fall. Into the food mill. Welcome back, everyone. I took a little bit of a break from filming at least and got all of the tomatoes blended, run through the food mill, and then put into this pot. This is so full. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fit all of the tomatoes in there, but thankfully I was able to. So now I'm just going to let this boil, evaporate a good amount of the water off. I believe you want to go until it's 3/4 of the way down, or I'll have to look back at my recipe. But yeah, so I have been working for a few hours now, so I'm gonna go ahead and take a break while this boils away. I'm gonna go ahead and take a little lunch break, drink some water, put my feet up, relax for a little bit until this is ready, and then we'll go ahead and start the canning process. But I'll go ahead and give you a quick look at just how full this is. But it's very exciting. It's a good problem to have so much sauce. But yeah, I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. So here's our pot here, and as you can see, we have barely any room left. Again, it's a great problem to have, but this pot is very big, so as you can imagine, it's going to take a good amount of time to evaporate, boil down until we can start the process for our sauce. We are back. Our pot has been simmering for a few hours now and has reduced quite a bit, so that's amazing. And I was just looking at our canning manual. When you buy a Presto pressure canner, it comes with this manual. It's amazing because you're able to see different recipes and different instructions for how to use it, how to apply safe canning practices. So very, very important. I love this also because, like I said before, I really enjoy canning ingredients. So it works out really well because this explains exactly how to do so. So if you want to can tomato sauce, or if you want to can green beans, carrots, things like that. So amazing, amazing. Anyway, so I was looking through this and it says, so in order to safely can tomato sauce, it's important to add additional acid. That sounds a little funny or scary or whatever, but all it really is some lemon juice, bottled lemon juice specifically. So we're going to be adding some lemon juice to each jar, and we will be adding some pickling salt. So I'm going to start out canning in pint jars. that just seems to be the amount that we use whenever we use any sort of tomato sauce in any recipe. So the book says to add 1 tablespoon of lemon juice to each jar and half of a teaspoon of salt. You don't have to add salt. Salt is used for flavor, not as a preservative. So you could omit it if you want to. I'm going to add it just where this is only tomatoes. This is just straight tomato sauce. Now, this is a trick that my parents taught me, to take a butter knife and put it in the jar, because our sauce is hotter than what the jars are because I washed them last night. So the metal butter knife helps prevent cracking in our jar. And I've done this so many times and it definitely works. Here you can see I'm just going ahead and filling all of our jars with the tomato sauce just until we reach 1/2 inch of headspace. Now that all of our jars have been filled, we're just going to go ahead and put a little bit of vinegar on a paper towel and go ahead and wipe all of the rims of your jars. It's important to make sure that the rims are nice and clean, and they'll be clean by wiping them with the vinegar, so that we can have a good seal when we go ahead and add the lids. Now you're just going to want to repeat each of the steps that I mentioned before, just until all of your jars are filled and all of your sauce is gone. All right, so all of our jars are filled and our sauce is pretty much gone. We would have enough for maybe a 1/2 pint. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna bother canning it. We're definitely not wasting it. We're gonna put that in a Tupperware container, pop it in the fridge, and use it for one of this week's recipes. For sure, we're not wasting it, don't worry. So I'm just gonna clean up the space a little bit. I have like the lemon juice, vinegar, and salt out from when we were adding everything into the jars. And then we're gonna start popping everything in the canner and getting the canning process started. I do find it's very, very helpful to clean as you go while you're canning. Canning is a messy, long task. So if you can kind of pick up as you go, it saves so much time. And I find it makes it so much less overwhelming to just pick up as you go and then work in a clean space. So here is our pressure canner. Gonna remove the lid. I already have some water in here and our metal piece at the bottom. I might need to add a little bit more water. I do, just 1 second. So you're gonna want to fill your pressure canner to, it has 3 indents on the inside of the pot. You're gonna want to fill it to the lowest one. So I believe we're able to fit 7 pints on the bottom of our canner. So we have 8 pints on the bottom, and then we're going to add this metal tray, metal circle, I'm not sure what it's called, but it's so that you can put these on top of the pints you have in the bottom layer and then add a second layer on top. It's very, very nice. Then we'll go ahead and add 8 more of the jars. go, and I'll just give you a quick look. So here is our pot, and as you can see, we have all of the jars lined up in there. We're going to cook this at 11 pounds of pressure for, I believe, 15 minutes. I'll have to double check the recipe. So as you saw, we have all of our jars in there. Let me just go back to our recipe in the manual. Okay, so it says, for the tomato sauce, you're going to pressure can at 11 pounds of pressure, pints and quarts for 15 minutes. And with pressure canning, your pounds of pressure depends on your altitude. So definitely go ahead and check what that is. For us, it's 11 pounds of pressure. So follow all the instructions in your manual. Mine always says to lift the lid up to the light, look through this little vent pipe here on this side, and you're just going to see if you can see light through it. If you can, then it's clean. So then that means that you're good to go, and put your lid on top. You're going to make sure your arrows meet just like that, and then twist it shut. There. Now it's locked in. Pressure canning really isn't scary at all. I know a lot of people are nervous about it, but if you do everything properly, everything will be fine. So now that we have our lid on safely, we're going to go ahead and turn on our burner to high. We're going to start building heat. Once there's enough heat that we have steam that we can either see, feel, or hear coming out of this vent pipe, we're going to start our 10-minute timer. It's going to release the steam for 10 minutes, and then, where's our little weight? After the 10 minutes, you're going to put on your little weight that comes with your Presto canner, and you're just going to pop it on. And then I'll show you when to set your timer after that. I just took a look at our pressure canner, and as you can see, that little green speck there on the pressure dial, that is 11 pounds of pressure, so we are over that. So I went ahead and turned on my timer for the 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and decrease the temperature to decrease the pressure, because it only really needs to be at 11 pounds of pressure. As you can see here, it's starting to wobble, so we're going to go ahead and turn the heat down. So our canner timer is done, and our pressure has gone down. So now we're just going to open up the canner and remove all of the jars. So here we have our first batch, and now I'm going to take the 8 remaining jars, put them in the canner again, and do a second round. Welcome back, everyone. This is the following day, and as you can see here, we have our 24 jars of tomato sauce. I am always so excited the next day just to see all of our pretty jars lined up, and with tomato sauce especially, it looks beautiful, and it's gonna look so great on our pantry shelves. It just feels so good to have a great productive day and have so much to show for it. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for spending the day with me in the kitchen. It was so much fun. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider subscribing. There definitely will be plenty more cooking, canning videos to come. But yeah, so I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!